Drink it in, man. Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread! 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 Drink it in, man. Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread! Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid drinkers, what's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday. You know what show this is. This is the Detroit Koolaid Cast.
Drink it in, man.
Oh, it tastes so good, so delicious. I mean, the preseason just ended. We are ready. I think somebody recently asked me, hey, what do you think? I was just like, I'm not too worried about this game that just happened between Indianapolis, but after that, I mean, it's go time. And that's absolutely what it is. So I am excited to have Jared Goff's number one fan, my buddy, Brian Nicewanger. Chops is back on the show. He's ready to go talk some Lions, have some fun here on the show. Chops, how you doing this week?
Okrie, it's a good day in Detroit land. Preseason is done. The regular season is around the corner. Jared Goff is ready to light the fantasy world on fire and to lead our Detroit Lions to some victories. So let's do it.
Chops, I'm going to give myself some homework. I got to come up with, if not now, like in the first few weeks of the season, a Goff drop for you. Like a Jared Goff, just big time sound drop so I can put it when you join the show here. I mean, is the man love on are you at like an 8, a 9, maybe a 10? Where are you at? 12 this week? I mean...
I have steadily remained on a solid 11, Okrie. Since the second we traded for him, it has not died down. I don't, I've heard some naysayers during the preseason, during camp, during this. Man, my man love is strong, and in fact, I may allegedly have a number 16 jersey on its way to my house coming for the season. So,
oh my goodness. Everybody, I mean, you know what to do with that.
Drink it in, man.
Side of cornbread.
Cornbread!
Make it a double.
Cornbread!
All right, Chops.
Sir.
We got to get right into this because we got a fun show, man. We're going to talk about quite a bit on this show. I want to know what you kind of taken away from this preseason. It's been a handful of weeks since we had you on last. How quickly can this team get up to speed? I want to know what you're thinking there based on them sitting a lot of guys. Brad Holmes, Dan freaking Campbell. And then we got a little surprise for the people on the back half of the show. It might even be a little bit of a surprise to you. I don't think I clued you in, but we'll get to that. Everybody, you got to stay tuned. So, Choppy, are you ready to do this? It sounds like you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm now. You have me on the edge of my seat, waiting for what this surprise take segment's going to be. So let's get at it.
That's what I do here on the show. So, all right. So, right off the top, man, preseason's over. 3 games this year instead of 4. Lions took the approach, as most teams did in the NFL, sat most of their players. I know Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes are out there slinging at all the different games, but Dan freaking Campbell said, no, I'm just going to see a little taste. I'm going to let my big boys sit. What was your opinion of that? Did you like it? Did you not? What are you thinking?
So the preseason is still an anomaly to me. We went to the extra game in the regular season. We go 17 games. So we cut a preseason game. Before I felt like everybody kind of had about the same formula with the 4 games. But now it's new. It's new this year, right? So it's 3 games. And yeah, man, I mean, across the league, you saw different teams just taking different approaches, right? You had some coaches come right out and say, we will not be playing any of our starters. You saw other people come out, like names you mentioned, and they're like, hey, we're going to let these guys come out and sling. We got to knock off the rust. A lot of it depends on the player. Sometimes the player feels like he needs to get in there. As far as what the Lions did, I mean, look, I don't need to see Jared Goff trying to, quote unquote, build rapport with his wide receiving staff. Like, the guy's been in camp for weeks. He's throwing to the guys. He knows who's going to be he knows in his head who he's going to be slinging the ball to, and it's going to be T.J. Hawkinson, and it's going to be Jay Swizzle and Jay Swaggy. He knows. So, to give these guys a bunch of meaningful reps in the preseason really, to me, would be meaningless. For me, these 3 games were about seeing the guys that are in the battles for the depth spots. I want to see a little competition for my 3, 4, 5 running back spots. I want to see what my what some of my guys on the back end of my wide receiver depth can do. I'd love to see, a safety beyond the 2 that we have. Anyone? Do we have one of those? Do we still have 2, 3? But it's that's how I'm feeling about the preseason. It's give or take. We're coming in with very low expectations for the season. I feel like a lot of people are, as far as wins go. But we want to see progress, right? We want to see what this team's all about. We want to see what Dan freaking Campbell's all about. And, I think you got a little bit of a taste of it, but you're going to really see it here in week 1.
Chops, good stuff, man. I let you down on a soundbite, so I'll just go ahead and give it to you on the back end here. Do you want to know a little bit more about the Lions safeties, Chops? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Do we have any? You got a soundbite of that for me? Oh, wait.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I thought. Yeah,
that's kind of what I got for you on the safeties. And you mentioned another guy, Chops, and I think his name is Dan freaking Campbell. So I don't want to let you or the people down on that one either.
We're going to bite a kneecap off. We're going to smile at you. We're going to take your other kneecap.
Yes.
We're going to smile at you. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. We're going to be the last one standing. All right? That's going to be the mentality.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best.
That's what I'm talking about, Dan Campbell. And I got a third sound bit for you here early in the show, Choppy, because you're right. I don't need to see my premier players out there with another squad who's probably trying to run their open blitz package or trying to take out our kneecaps. I mean, who would do such a thing? Because you know where they're putting in the work, Chops? You want to know where these guys are working day in, day out, in and out, throwing routes, running reps all day, every day? You want to know where that is?
I can tell you exactly where it is.
Where's that?
At Allen Park. It's at Allen Park, man. It's not in the field. It's they've been together now for what, 6-8 weeks? It's there. It's on the practice field. It's that's where it's going to be. That's where you're seeing what you're getting, do I need to see Jared Goff rip up at some team's third string defense? No, that doesn't tell me anything.
So what you're saying is we're talking about practice.
Wait. Yeah, that's right, AI. I'm talking about practice.
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
I mean, Chops, we're talking about preseason, man. Not a game. Not the game that these guys go out there and die for. We're talking about preseason, man. I mean, how silly is that?
Yeah. And hey, look, where would he be at today, right now, if we just got the news that DeAndre Swift just tore his ACL and strained his MCL and he's out for the season, on preseason game 3. How are we feeling about that? Huh?
That's how I'd feel. Not so
That's
good.
How I'm feeling about my boy Jake Dobbins.
Oh my goodness. That's the thing. The Lions got out of preseason injury free. Now everyone wants to talk about, Brocker's been out, Swizzle's been out a little bit. You don't want to know why these guys have been out? Because they're getting them 100% so that we can unleash them against the 49ers. I've been saying this for weeks, and people think, oh, come on, Okrie, these guys aren't going to be ready. They're not going to have their wind. I mean, I think it's a smart move, to be honest. If you are seeing what you need to see in practice, and then you don't need to be out there killing yourselves against other teams. You need to give them your best effort against the San Francisco 49ers. All of our guys, healthy as could be, ready to roll, feeling good about themselves. That's what I want, and that's what I think we got out of this preseason.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, absolutely. We got out, and again, I don't. Do you really believe that DeAndre Swift isn't going to be ready for game 1? I mean, come on.
He's going to be more than ready.
That?
He's going to be ready. I mean, as ready as he can be. And, like, what have the Lions always done? By this time, we've always had, like, our second-round running back blow out his Achilles or some other rookie blow out an ACL already. We got none of that going on right now with these Detroit Lions. So let me ask you this as a follow-up. You know, we got the haters, the non-Kool-Aid drinkers who are saying, oh, they're going to start slow, they're going to be out of sync, they are rusty, all those things you hear. And then you got the people that listen to this show that are like, they're going to be healthy. San Francisco doesn't know what's coming. We're going to have Jared Goff as a complete shocker to the league when he comes out dropping dimes. Swift will be ready. TJ Hawkinson is going to be a nightmare this year to deal with. I mean, you know who those people are.
Drink it in, man.
They're drinking the Kool-Aid. They're excited. They're diehards. They're ready for this team. Where do you fall on that spectrum?
Okrie. San Francisco has absolutely no idea what we're going to be throwing at them come game one. Because we have a new coach, we have a new staff, we've got a new offensive system, we got a new defensive. Like, how do you game plan for this team right now?
You can't.
You cannot game plan. You know, I can tell you that we can game plan for Garoppolo, we can game plan for Deebo Samuel, we can game plan for George Kittle, but guess what? Are they going to be able to game plan for the things that we have going on? Absolutely not. So I love where we're at. I'm super excited. I see us coming in hot, and I think when game one hits, man, it is go time, right? We've piddled around now. We've not played guys. We've put people on the injury list who had a little nick here and there. Everyone's going to be healthy and ready to go, and I'm ready to shock some teams because they're not going to know what's coming.
And that's what I think it is like the fan base. We're so itching. Everything's new. We're excited. We fumbled just like most teams through the preseason where you sit everybody out. Nobody shows anything. You don't see anything ultra exciting on the field. So that could dumb some people's fandom down and think that's what they're going to get against the San Francisco 49ers. But I'm so with you. I think it's just going to be... they're going to pull out all the stops. You're going to have all of our guys. Like, I could just name off probably like 15 guys, Chops, that are top 15 football players on the Detroit Lions that either weren't out there at all in preseason or showed nothing. You know what I mean? No fancy plays, no extra juice. And that was all by design, I think. So I think fan base is just ready to see what it looks and feels like with, Hawkinson, Swift, Goff, Brockers, Flowers, Derek Barnes unleashed, you know what I mean? Mr. Okuda ready to roll. You know what I mean? Like, none of those guys really got meaningful reps. They were all sort of held back, and I think it was for a reason. I can't wait to see the team ready to roll for 4 quarters.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. I think we're ready to go. I think we're going to be healthy. We're going to be healthier than what everyone's letting on right now. We're going to have a big. No one knows what to expect out of our receiving core, right? Like, I mean, you have not seen anything from Tyrell Williams in 2 years, right? I think you saw a little bit of splash in Cephas, but we don't know what we got there. I think I'm super excited about St. Brown. I think we got some stuff going there, and of course, I'm always looking forward to seeing that O line with our boy Penei Sewell. Tearing it up and just digging in the trenches, man. So let's get at it.
Exactly. We'll do a deep dive here on this show probably next Wednesday when you're hearing this. And we're recording a little bit early here for this Wednesday show. And, I mean, word just came out that they let go of Perriman. Other cuts were made. No big names, really, in my opinion. The Perriman, they did give him a little bit of money. But let me transition into it with this. Like, where's your confidence level? Wait, hold on. Before I get to that, I do want to ask you this because I do want your opinion. I won't have you on before the game. Based on everything we said, we're hyped about the team and all that. What's the Trey Lance, fear factor in regards to we saw San Francisco do all the, one quarterback in, one quarterback out. So they have a little bit of that too, where you just don't really know who you're going to get and how. Does that put any worries at you, or are you just kind of like, whatever, whoever's out there, we'll deal with them?
No, I think that, I don't look, the guy hasn't proven himself to be, he's I don't know. I don't want to say he's a gimmick right now, but is he a gimmick right now? Like they put him out there, and I'm not saying, and I was on record for saying that I like this kid. If we took him, he was actually my QB of choice before. If we were looking to, back up Goff and put somebody in there that could develop for a year or two, like I'm a big Trey Lance guy. But I mean, I think that this team is still Jimmy Garoppolo's team, and they're going to put Lance in there for some package stuff. But again, are we to the point where we have a linebacker that just, or what do they like to call it at Michigan, where they just put the safety in the middle and he just stares at the Ohio State quarterback while he shreds us for 50 yards of play.
Viper.
We don't need that X guy yet. The Viper, right?
Yeah, that hasn't worked out so well. But I gotta say, I mean, I think Trey Lance is pretty good.
I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty.
I think he's pretty good.
Pretty good.
So I'm a little worried about that factor. The fact that you were high on Trey Lance as well is kind of surprises me. I think that's the one thing that I'm a little bit going to talk more about next week is like, yeah, Lions have a lot of wild cards, but if there's any other team in the NFL that also has some tricks in their back pocket or some unknowns, it would be the San Francisco 49ers would be at the top of that list. So something to consider. But what I was transitioning to is your confidence level in Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, because we've had a couple roster moves, nothing overly surprising, but by the time people are hearing this or late in the week, I would assume that the Lions have got a handful of new players that they've taken off of other teams, people that they've cut, maybe a trade, who knows what might happen. So are you feeling confident that this roster is actually going to be bolstered by the time we go to San Francisco, or do you feel it's going to be pretty much what we see right now?
No, I think this roster is going to have a lot of changes to it. I think that, as we're recording here, word comes out, we've made some cuts. People were kind of freaking out about cutting, Terrell Crosby, and what was the other one that people were like, what? I can't believe we let Mike Ford go. Do you think Mike Ford is going to be on anyone else's team after we cut him? I mean,
you want to hear my reaction?
You guys are getting up in arms about?
You want to hear my reaction?
I have zero issues with any of the cuts.
This is my reaction and many other Lions fans' reaction to people freaking out about cutting a guy named Mike Ford. Really? We're sitting here tweeting out and like pouring out a little liquor for Mike Ford's gone. Come on, man. This guy was a windsock, a horrible defender. Okay, tried hard. Great. Congratulations. Oh, he made a hit one time in preseason a week or so ago. Great. Like, no big deal. Brashad Perriman, yeah, I don't like that we paid him $2 million to do absolutely nothing, but them's the breaks in the NFL. So nothing earth-shattering, but I'll kind of go back on your point. Like, I think there's going to be, quality football players added, to be honest, just to give the Kool-Aid drinkers a little extra dose of that Detroit Kool-Aid. I mean, drink it in.
Drink it in, man.
Like, I think this is draft number 2 coming up. Like, you thought Brad Holmes killed it in the NFL draft. Well, now he gets to pick NFL football veterans that get cut loose, hand-picked by him and his staff. So I wouldn't be surprised if we had a starter or two, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. And you're right. So let's talk about Perriman for a quick second. I think that decision tells you a lot about what this regime is about, right? Do you think the past regime would have paid somebody $2 million in the offseason as a free agent and then cut them after camp?
Nope.
Absolutely not. But this regime is. This regime is telling us, hey, look, this guy didn't make it, right? We're going to bite a kneecap off, and this guy doesn't have any freaking teeth. So he's gone, right? I don't care we paid him $2 million. Yeah, does money matter? Does the cap matter? Yeah, it matters. But guess what? If you don't cut it, you're cut. And I like that mentality. I mean, that guy, Perriman had opportunity. I mean, I feel like he basically just robbed us. He took his $2 million in his sack and ran, and he didn't show anything. There was no effort out of him. I don't know if he had other stuff he was dealing with, but, I think that them cutting them and saying, hey, it's $2 million, but guess what? If you don't belong on this football team as a player, you're not going to be on this football team. I respect it.
Yeah, Exactly, and it just happens. Like, you're gonna miss on people. People are tweeting out, "Oh, this is the first miss of Brad Holmes." Well, I'm here to tell you, people, there's gonna be others. But as long as he hits in the draft and hits with a couple big free agents over the next few years, and with those number one picks he's got in his back pocket, I think we're gonna be just fine. So I'm still very high on what I've seen so far from Brad Holmes, Dan freaking Campbell. I love the podium. I love the juice. I love the honesty. I love the moxie. I just need to see it on Sundays when they count, of him out thinking and out strategizing and getting us W's. So that's TBD still, but everything else I absolutely love. So feeling good, man. I'm feeling good heading into the season here. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's get ready. I mean, I've had enough of preseason. I've had enough of training camp. We had a great draft. We had a great off season. It's time for all this stuff to come to fruition. It's time for my boy Jared Goff to ball out, and it's time to get some dubs.
And as excited as we are, and as much Detroit Koolaid as we're serving up, we also are true too that if it's going to take a little patience. I mean, we want to come out and win ball games. We want to come out and hit on all cylinders, but we also know that you got to build it right. So they may take a half step back to take 2 steps forward. I'm cool with that. So everybody get excited about the season. Like, we know that wasn't football the past 3 weeks, but it was something. And now we got real ball coming. We got real college ball coming. And you can find me on Twitter and talk all about it. Lions, Michigan Wolverines, and everybody knows that I just dominate fantasy football all day, every day. Choppy knows that. You can find me at Derek Okrie. That's spelled DEREK OKRIE. If they want like horrible fantasy takes or kind of like Jared Goff, I love you memos, where can they find you, Choppy, on Twitter?
Oh, well, listen, Oak, you don't even have to plug yourself because everybody has already seen your 7,000 fantasy roster posts on the old Twitter handle. And I get the tweet, I get the text, I get the, hey, check this out. I'm like, bro, how many teams are you on? I can't even keep track of them, man. I
got a
mean,
lot of teams this year.
It's like, I think you probably have drafted every single relevant player in fantasy this season across the amount of teams that you're on. But hey, if you want to get like, someone who's a true fan who has, limited fantasy dedication to single teams and not just like hey, I'm going to throw 50 darts out there and maybe one will stick in a half a bullseye, you can hit me up at Chops in the D on Twitter.
Oh my goodness, so fun to have you on the show, man, going back and forth like we do our whole time being buddies. So good stuff there. And like you say, you are my hockey insider. That's where I go when the Red Wings make a move. I'm checking out Chops in the D, see what he's got to say about it. Fantasy info, it's a little iffy, and we're not talking Melifonwu. But yeah, man, it should be just going to be great to have football back across the board and love interacting with the fans. So everybody, let's take a quick break, get our great sponsors in here. I got a little something for Chops after the break. We'll spring it on. I'm have a little bit of fun. So everybody, we'll be right back. All right, everybody. This goes out to my fantasy football fans out there. Now, you probably heard about Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners can build and manage their fantasy team like a real NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? I mean, we're talking free agency, multi-year contracts, rookie drafts, multi-team trades. You can put franchise tags on guys. It's as close as you're going to get to being an NFL GM. But do you think it sounds complicated? It's not. I'm here to tell you it's the best thing about Reality Sports Online is it's just more fun than your normal fantasy league, but it doesn't take barely any more time. After all this, are you still not sure? I mean, come on now. You can test your general manager skills by going over to Reality Sports Online, call it RSO. Please go check out realitysportsonline.com right now. All right, everybody, we're back from the commercial. Thank you so much for listening to those sponsors. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button, and I say it all the time, and I truly mean it. It means the world to me that you guys listen to the show, you laugh, you hear about the Lions, you hit me up online, you joke around with me. It's just a tremendous amount of fun, as well as it's just great to get on here with a buddy like Chops here and talk football. So, Chops, we normally don't mess around on the show, but I got to get the thank yous in and got to promote as we do sometimes. But, I mean, me and you like to battle, as we noted in the earlier segment, in fantasy football. Am I right?
Just a little. We both are very competitive, and neither one of us take a loss very well. I seem to remember some crying after a recent trip that we took where some bets were won and some bets were lost, and yeah, so we're competitive guys. So I'm amped up. What do you got lined up for me, buddy?
Do you want to disclose to the people who was doing the crying? Because I think that was the trip where we went to the ATL and then I beat your Atlanta Falcons in fantasy. The Lions beat the Falcons in real life. And then I took your team in the playoffs in that same league. I think you're referencing. I might be wrong. And I beat you in the Okrie Chops Olympics as well. I mean, do we want to get that on the record or no?
Allegedly, some of that may have happened. Some of it may not have happened. You know, I heard some crying about a foosball table that wasn't right, and then an amazing, gift from God come back in a darts game here and there. And we also found the good old University of Michigan bar there in the ATL, which we had a nice little had a good little competition at too. So yeah, there was allegedly.
And the name of the Michigan bar was?
You got it?
Pepperonis.
Pepperonis. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Absolutely. So, I mean, again, having fun here on the show. The long and the short of it is I beat Chops in like disc golf, darts, pool, foos, fantasy, everything. But all that's beside us, Chops. I mean, I don't want to maybe I'll cut that from the show. No, I won't. What we like most, me and you, when we're competing, is simply this. Oh, baby. And that's a draft. There's nothing better than a good old draft, Choppy. So let me pull the music down a little bit. Everybody knows this is the draft music here on the show and in general. Chops, what I want to challenge you to, my friend, is a 10-person Detroit Lions draft. 5 offense, 5 defense, going back and forth, selecting football players. Do you accept this challenge? Do you think you can take down the almighty here on the other end, the host of the show, at Derek Okrie on Twitter, in this draft?
Oh, bring it on, Oak. Yes, let's do this.
And as I do, because I'm usually on the right side of the column, the one that starts with W, I will give you the number 1 pick in this Detroit Lions draft. 5 players apiece on both sides of football.
Oh my gosh! Quick point of clarification: Are we going offense first, then defense? Or are we doing all intermixed? How we rolling?
As I do when I make my selections in drafts, BPA, Chops, best player available. You could take either side of the ball. We will rotate selections. You are on the clock.
I'm on the clock. Okay. With the first pick in the August 30th-ish 2021 Fantasy Okrie Choppy draft, Choppy selects T.J. Hockenson.
Oh my goodness. T.J. Hockenson.
Oh, baby.
Okay, I see you working, but you did me a favor, my friend, and that you left me with a perfect player at the number 2 selection. And with the second pick, the Okrie Detroit Lions select DeAndre Swizzle. DeAndre Swift from the University of Georgia.
Oh, D-Swizzle. Nice pick. All right. Oh, back on the clock. Well, I think, Okrie, look, I mean, you put this one up on a tee for me, and you basically just said, hey, hit this one out of the park. Because where Choppy's got to go. The pick is in.
Okay, hold on. I got the sounder for you.
I got my boy, Mr. Jared Goff.
Oh, I left him for you. I mean, I knew he wasn't going to get past the second round.
I know you did. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Well, I am up here in the second round, and again, I think we made a little mishap. It probably should have been Okrie with 2 picks, but it's no worry. We will alternate here because I didn't want Jared Goff anyway. I knew you love him. With my second round selection, I'm going to go ahead and take a beast of a football player, a dominant force. I'm going to go ahead and take Trey Flowers. He makes $18 million. He's been a little hit or miss, but this is going to be a big year for Trey. He's ready to go.
He is ready to go. I'm actually excited. I'm high on that pick. So that's a good pick. I like that. But I got a different strategy now. I'm rounding out my team here. You know how I feel about the offense. I love to see the ball swing around. Man. All right. With my next pick. Ooh, man, so many good choices. I'm going to have to go with Mr. Tyrell Williams.
T-Will, going with what should be the top pass catcher for the Detroit Lions. They're, again, heavy on the offense. I mean, you might want to have a balanced team. So with my third round selection, I'm definitely more than happy to take. He goes by Mr. here on the podcast, and that's Mr. Okudah. Jeff Okudah still got his haters, but he's a hell of a ball player, premier talent. Give him to me with my third selection.
Oh, man. I like that pick, too. I like it. But you made a mistake, Okrie, because you left me with arguably our best defensive player last year, Mr. Romeo Okwara.
Oh, that's a good pick. Very good pick. Getting Romeo right in the prime of his career. He just got Pizzade. I like it. All right, so I'm looking at my draft board. Swizzle, Flowers, Mr. Okudah. I think I'm going to have to go back to the offensive side of the ball, Choppy. I think I'm going to have to get myself a dynamic, kind of a gritty, a grimy, a nasty football player, but a guy that can make plays, is going to see a lot of footballs here for the Detroit Lions. In the 4th round, I mean, I'm more than happy to select a kid that was recently taken by Brad Holmes. So the pick is in. I will take Amon-Ra St. Brown from USC. He's got blonde hair. He's going to make plays. Love this kid.
Yeah, that's a good pick, man. I was like this close to taking over Tyrell because I'm very high on,
I thought you were going to do it.
Mr. St. Brown. So that was a good one. That was a good steal. I think you swiped in there and you snuck one by me there. So, but hey, look, I'm gonna have to go with a nice off-season acquisition here with the next pick, with my number 5 pick, because I think this guy is just going to be a freaking animal, and I gotta go with Mr. Brockers.
Oh, the vet, the leader of the defense. I mean, here's where I differ on that pick, because I thought about him right off the top, almost where I took Flowers, but I kind of I don't know what to expect. He might be really good or he might be disappointing. I can't tell where he's going to be at. I think he said he's been in the league 10 years. It's a long time, but I really hope he plays great for the Lions. So that was your 5th round pick as we round out the first set of selections. And gosh, let me think here. I got 2 guys on defense. I got 2 offense. Again, perfectly symmetry. I can go any way I want, Chops, here in the draft. I mean, just looking at the Detroit Lions defense, I mean, there's only one nasty beast that I want if I'm building my football team of the best 5 on both sides of the football. Let's add Aleem McNeil to that list. He is starting from day one. He's a physical specimen in the jersey. He wears a visor and he's over 300 pounds. That's incredible. Give me Aleem McNeil to Okrie squad.
Yep. Good pick. I love that. I love it. We got a rookie starter. He's going to be in there. And that D-line is just going to be a bunch of big, nasty men in the trenches. So I love it. All right. Well, you know what? I'm back on the clock. And, I think this guy is getting a little bit of not as much love as we get. I mean, look, if I don't even have to say his name because all I got to say to you is, man, the best man at the podium when it comes to players. And you know I'm talking about Jay Swaggy, Jamal Williams.
Oh, he is number one at the podium, number one in the with the dance moves. There is no question. You are taking Swag. I've got Swift. Swift and Swag have been selected. Now, Chops, you made a big mistake here, as you often do in these drafts. And that's, you've went 6 rounds, and you haven't taken what might be the best football player on the Detroit Lions. In the 6th round, I am very happy to add Mr. Frank Ragnow to my squad. Just dominant center inside, a Pro Bowler nonetheless. Give me Big Frank. Let's go.
Yeah, that's a steal, Okrie. In the 6th round, you pick up big old Frank, man. You're right. You know, it's hard. It's easy to overlook those trenches, but man, that's a steal you just took from me. So, and in fact, you've inspired me, Oak, because I'm actually going to flip to the other side, man. Uh-oh. And I gotta take our boy at the left tackle, Taylor Decker, right behind him.
Have you seen the Taylor Decker mullet / hairdo he's got going? I mean, this is legendary, the hair he's got this year.
Oh my gosh. At first I thought it was a prank, and then I'm like, oh, nope, that's real. I love it.
I was going to say, it's like an undershave, like that old surfer cut from the 80s, yet it's a mullet, yet it's actually cool looking somehow. I don't know how he's rocking that, but yeah, Taylor Decker, everybody knows I've always been a fan here on the show. All right, let me look at my draft board. We are in round 7, and let's take a peek here at because we got to get 5-0 and 5D. So you've got 1, 2, 3.
I'm at
4.
5 and 2. 5 and 2.
You are at 5 offense. You got to work the defensive side of the ball. Again, I'm pretty evened out here. I got my 3 defenders, 3 offensive guys, so I can go any way I want here. Looking over the roster, I mean, there's a lot of intriguing players, guys that I could go with, but again, if we're taking BPA, you know, best player, I'm trying to build a good quality team of premier talented football players. I'm going to take the young pup. Give me Penei Sewell. I mean, I know it might take a little time and always learn a new position, but I'm not going to pass on that talent if we're still looking over the overall roster. So Penei Sewell, the 7th.
Yeah, no, solid pick again, man. I know we got a trend here going O-line, but man, those guys cannot be underappreciated, because I think we're just going to have an amazing O-line this year. So, you know, the talented players around them, the star guys, Hawk, Goff, Swift, Swag. I mean, they're only going to be as good as that O-line is going to take them, and I think that O-line is going to take them far. So that's a good pick for you. I'm gonna now. I got my 5 offensive picks hammered out. So man, I got to switch over to my D, which is I got a great couple picks coming up to you here. And man, how can I not take my boy A.O.?
Oh man, get the soundbite ready, everybody. Say it again. Give me that selection one more time.
The pick is in, and it is A.O.
Oh, baby.
All right, I see you working. I mean, you stealing my guy. I mean, I promote the guy. I'm going to be rocking a 24 jersey at the games to represent him. You go ahead and take him in the 8th round here of the draft. I see you working. But again, I hate to harp on the choppy mistakes. Again, this is normally where, like, when we do our draft review, you know, he likes to rip me for every little thing, and I usually have to just point out his oversight. So again, you're looking over this team. I mean, you got stiffs like Jamie Collins out there. We've taken the 2 corners. We know it's thin at other spots. We've got a few guys up front that are still available, but if I'm building my squad based on what I've seen here recently, how this guy looks in the uniform, give me a guy with a great first name. Give me Derek Barnes. I believe that deserves an O, baby, but I'll let it slide since we just used it for AO. Gosh, Choppy, I'm young, I'm lean, I'm ready to go with the squad right now.
Yeah, he's a stud. You know, you kind of surprised me. I thought you might go with one of our, you know, amazing safeties that we have, but no. You went with Young Pup, which, you know, I don't blame you for doing that. So
I'm so
yes,
high on Derek Barnes.
That's a steal.
Derek Barnes looks like an absolute monster in the uniform. He's way bigger than I thought with his arms and his ability to run. I'm freaking out about this guy because every time he goes and makes a play, it's like I haven't seen this type of play at linebacker, man.
Yeah, nope, that's a good pick. And again, rocking the 55, I see him being the centerpiece, the leader of this defense in a few years. So if not sooner, so I like it. Hey, with the 9th round pick, the pick is in.
Hold on. I got you. The commissioner is heading up to the podium. And with the 9th selection in the Chops and Okrie draft, the pick is in.
And I have his brother hand him the jersey to join the choppy team, Julian Okwara.
Oh, man. He went with, Julian Okwara has played more preseason snaps than anyone in the history of football, but I love it. Put the kid out here, let him rush the passer, no question. Good selection.
I like it. I think he's going to be solid, man. I can't wait to see those Okwara brothers tearing this up here for years to come.
You got the brothers. I like it. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else on
Divai's available. Oh, if you want to slide in there and get Divai, he's there.
Yeah, I realize he's there. I figure I'd leave the speed and his playmaking ability for you. Let me see. I'm trying to play the board here because I kind of know who you like and who you don't like. So I'm trying to think how I can steal these last couple selections here. I've taken a lot of young pups. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm just looking over. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh
so
my
I
God.
can take a.
You're 4 and 4. 4 and 4.
What? 4 and 4? Just even Steven here. Okay, so
Even
I do have to
Steven.
take an offensive player. Who the hell am I gonna take on offense at this point? Because I got about a handful of defenders I actually want to select. To be
I know
honest.
you got plenty of D love here, but you know I'm going to
boy.
steal your guy if you don't take him right here though on B.
Oh my
I already
goodness,
know.
I'm thinking it over. I'm trying to actually think we got nothing at the receiver spot. You already took the tight end. You got the running back that isn't the man. So I guess I'll just do this because again I'm playing the draft board. So I'm going heavy on the O-line, as are the Lions. Give me Jonah Jackson there as well to round out my offensive line. 3 beasts up there up front. That'll round out my offense.
Yeah, you got a lot of protection there for Swift and St. Brown. So I guess they get to who's going to throw the ball to who there.
It's not a full team, son.
Nice,
It's about
nice.
talent. Obviously, I can't build a full team when you take your lover boy in round 2.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean, look, you could have went with Mr. Blau. I mean, Tim Boyle just hurt his hand.
I don't need a clipboard holder when I can get a beast like Jonah Jackson here in the 9th round.
That's right. All right, so last round, I got to take D here, man. Oh God, I just want to. I almost want to take this guy just so I can hear you say about how this is his year and he's going to be amazing. But good God, just give me Tracy Walker to finalize the top 10.
I left Tracy to the last round because I knew you hated him.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I'm like,
told you
I
was
can
gonna
get him in the
steal
10th, no problem.
I warned you, Oak.
Oh, damn, you gave me the old okie doke. The whole draft, I was like, I'm just going to take Tracy in round 10. This is a layup. Ah, damn it. All right, I'm not going to let that phase me. I got another guy in my back pocket here.
That's right. Hey, Corn Elder's still there. You can do a double-sided cornbread for him.
Well, I mean, if you say it and the people want it, we might as well at least give him the soundbite. I don't know if that's the selection, but Corn Elder.
Cornbread!
Make it a double. But no, my selection, I debated. I almost went with Austin Bryant, who I've loved in the preseason. But again, I know I love rookies. I know I love potential. I love upside. I love maybes. I love the future. But I'm building this off talent and ball players. So give me a guy that I've dubbed here on this show Big Denim. Give me Levi Onwuzurike in the last round to fill out my defense. So, Chops, we'll do a quick refresher here. Let me go and pull down the draft music for the people. Tried to put that in the background. We had some good banter. I think both of us made great selections. Before I read off my just unbelievable, young, nasty beast of a squad, go ahead and review for the people, and I can help you if you'd like with who you selected here in this draft.
All right, so in the draft I got, I'll start with the O. I've got Mr. Jared Goff. I've got T.J. Hawkinson. I've got Taylor Decker. I've got T. Williams and J. Williams. And on defense, I've got the Okrie brothers. I got A.O. I got Mr. Brockers in the middle getting nasty. And then I got your boy, Tracy Walker.
So basically, you're telling the people you tried to score extra points for getting as many people as Williams, named Williams, and trying to get brothers on your team. Is that what you were going for?
That's right. Yeah. Got to do it.
All right. Well, no bonus points for that. But, here's where you get some bonus points for drafting ball players. And let's go to the Okrie squad real quick. We'll do it as well, offense and defense. Offense, DeAndre Swift, probably the best player on the football team. Maybe Hawkinson, but I think Swift will prove to be that guy if he can stay on the football field. Swift, St. Brown. I've got Frank Ragnow, Penei Sewell, and Jonah Jackson. So all those guys are like 24 years old or younger, and beasts on my offensive line, and 2 skill players. One that can play the slot, he can play outside, as well as a nasty running back. And then I just drafted nasty monsters on the defense side of the ball. Trey Flowers, Aleem McNeil. I got Derek Barnes. I drafted Levi, Onzarike, and then, the third pick last year in the draft, Mr. Okudah. Come on, Chops, just tip your cap. We all know who won that draft. Come on now.
Well, hey, at the end there, you forgot to play my good old soundbite about the school that Mr. Okudah went to.
I guess the people do enjoy that. I do have that here somewhere. You're somewhat putting me on the spot, but that would be Mr. Okudah from.
Hey, listen, Ohio State sucks.
Oh my goodness, that, and then every time I should play that, I should follow it up with the greatest laugh of all time, and that's this.
Everybody's in.
Let's just try that real quick for the people. Let's try them back to back. So whenever we mention that school, we shall not speak of.
Hey, listen, Ohio State sucks.
Everybody's in.
I think that's like the greatest diss by Lendell White, and then the 2 best laughs maybe of all time back to back. The reporter that laughed at the Ohio State sucks, and then Roberto from 97.1 with just absolute hilarity there. So, Chops, man,
just losing it.
This has been a great show. I mean, we talked about a lot in the front half. And I was able to just simply do what I do on the back half, which was just show the people my drafting prowess, my ability to get best player available, both of us enjoying a little fun competition, and then, me coming out on top when it's all said and done. So I feel good about the show. How about you?
Yeah, I feel great about the show, Okrie. I think we got to push. We're going to have to put that roster up, that Fantasy Lions draft up on the Twitterverse and get a little poll going. Who won, Choppy versus Okie? Because I think the people are going to side with man, and that would be me.
We will put it as the people. There is no question. Team Okrie versus Team Chops is going down. It goes down every time you're on the show. So, Chops, I want to thank you for being on the show, but somebody, a little birdie told me that I think I'm going to be able to get you back for the Friday show. Is this correct?
Oh, that is correct. I'm not sure what little birdie let that out, but yeah, I think this will be your last show before. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You'll have a few more shows before the season starts. But yeah, first show or last show this week, so right before the holiday.
That's the rumor innuendo. And then the other rumor out there is that I think you would like to unleash the Chops predictions game by game on the Friday show, breaking it down, giving the W's and L's for the Detroit Lions. Am I correct on that as well? Are my sources correct?
Your sources are indeed correct.
Oh my goodness,
that's the plan.
That is going to be an incredible show. I cannot wait to hear the strong takes. You putting up W's. You are the most optimistic I've ever heard you on the Detroit Lions. That's why I love having you on the Koolaid Cast, man, because you're just serving up that Kool-Aid, drinking it in, and just pouring it out for the people. I mean, I absolutely love it.
Drink it in, man.
Go give Chops a follow on Twitter. Oh, side of cornbread for Chops, no doubt. Go follow him on Twitter and check us out Friday, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. We're out.
Pack the bags, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in, man.